What is up, Mentors Collective, and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jay Feldman, and today I have a very special guest, which I'll be introducing in a second. I know things are crazy right now with the election going on. If you're listening in the future, it is November 4th, and people have been glued to their TVs all day. And I just want to take a second of your time to talk about something a little bit lighter, a little bit more productive than being glued to the TV and stressed. And that's why I decided to bring you today a very special guest who is an expert in goal setting and getting what you want out of life and out of your health. And we're just going to have a really super inspirational talk. This guy is an inspirer, a friend of mine, someone that I love to follow, and someone who I think you're going to get a lot of value from. He is the founder of Evolve Strong Fitness. He does a lot more than fitness, though. He is an interesting character. With that being said, thank you so much for joining me on the show. Curt Chavez, thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, Jay. Appreciate you having me.
So like I said, on this episode, I really just wanted to have a casual conversation about something that I'm super passionate about and something that I know a lot of our listeners are going to be really passionate about too. And that is health and fitness and how it pertains to success in life. Because really, if you're going to compete with guys like me and guys like you in business, if you're going to be a high performer, don't think you're going to do it if you can't master your own health first. And that's something that I'm super passionate about. I have a medical background, and I used to work in clinics and in healthcare. And I used to watch the other doctors just prescribe, all right, you need to exercise, you need to eat better. But it really goes so much deeper than that. And that's the kind of the conversation that I wanted to have with you today, to not scare people who might not be in the best shape, but to kind of guide them along the right track and help them take control so that they can become that high performer. So I just want to kind of open up the floor to you. Give us a little bit about your background, how you became an expert, and some of the stuff you've got going on.
Sure. So, it's funny you talk about the election, and we're so inundated today by all of this news and all of these data points and Facebook, all these tweets and twerks and all this crazy stuff, right? And we get so inundated in this cycle of trying to figure out how we're going to control that, when in actuality, we can't control any of that stuff. But what we can control is ourselves and the way that we approach, life in general. How do we improve? And, when you talk about success with young entrepreneurs, it's an interesting story. I grew up very, very poor. We made a lot of money in a family business. We lost everything. Turned my entire everything over to, lots of bad things in my life. And the only thing that got me back to where I needed to be and focused was fitness and health, period. And I gave up everything. And that's what happened, about 13 years ago. I was a fighter growing up, so I had about 8 years before that actually training fighters, and then ran my father's business, lost everything, then got back into this business 13 years ago. And since then, my life has been phenomenal. But when I was talking about the control, the only thing that we can control is how we react to our environment, right? How do we approach it? And when we have keystone or cornerstone habits that are healthy for us, such as daily exercise, great diet, if we can control those things, man, the rest actually just begins to blossom out there. And then when we feel good about ourselves and we're actually, healthy and capable and our health is good, then we could go and conquer everything within our day. And that's very important for us here at Evolve. And that's what we do. We inspire individuals to better themselves mentally, physically, and emotionally every single day. But we just use fitness and health as the outlet to approach that deliverable.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I preach this to my friends, followers, fans, and everybody who's listening right now. Know that I believe this with all my heart. If you feel good, you're going to perform good. And if you don't feel good, you don't feel healthy, you're not going to live a happy and fulfilling life. You're just not. You need to get this under control, and that's what I want to help you with today. So passionate about this. You mentioned diet and fitness. That's the doctor's prescription who has never dieted or fitnessed in their whole life. So talk to me about how you actually get started with that, whether you want to lose 5 pounds, tone down, and just take it up a notch and you already kind of know your stuff. Or maybe you're you've had 3 kids, you're 60 years old, you want to start your first business, and you know that you need to get your health under control if you want to increase your energy levels and compete at that high level. What's the approach for kind of both scenarios? 'Cause I'm sure we have both people listening.
Sure, man. So it's rather interesting. We try and make things so complex that it becomes so burdensome that we give up right away, right? And this is for any athlete, any person starting a business, anything, even if you're a type A executive, you get into this cycle that is just becomes vicious, becomes stressful. And then what we began to do, we began to look for the easy, quick fixes. And this is where, unfortunately, and I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying how we use it is bad. This is when, those midnight elixirs, pay $100 and I'm going to give you an elixir, and by tomorrow you're going to lose 20 pounds. You know what? You can buy that elixir and you probably will lose that 20 pounds, but about a week or two later, you're going to gain 40 back. And this is what's happened with like the Atkins diets, the ketos. And the moment you put stuff back into your diet and you don't approach this in a manner that's thoughtful with progression, you're going to balloon right back up, or you're going to digress. And same thing occurs like when you get a professional that tells you got to clean out everything in your refrigerator and you got to get this, this, and this, and this. Well, what happens when you have a hot date with your significant other on a Friday night? Are you supposed to say, no, 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 I can't have that cake or have that glass of wine? Food should be communal. It should be celebratory. It should be something that, we eat to have enjoyment for. But it's when we actually sit at a computer all day and we eat a grand-sized Snickers bar or have a Bente caramel macchiato every time in the morning when we go by Starbucks. It's these habits without movement that begin to put us in a position where we don't like ourselves anymore. And that is what happens. So, it's simple. I have to say, it's very, very simple. Don't make this complex. There's two approaches that we use that have been successful over the last 2 decades, Jay. Number one, we treat our diet like a bank account. We have to hold ourselves accountable, right? Now, if you have a cupcake, eat the cupcake. If your kid is having a birthday and they give you a cupcake, eat the cupcake. But it's when we do that every day, right? And if we're going to have a birthday, we got to plan for it, right? Maybe that morning, reduce your calories. Maybe the day before, reduce some calories. And then that day up, get a great workout in or do something active. Go for a hike and then go celebrate. And then the following day, reduce calories again, right? So we treat it like a bank account, just like we're saving up to go for a vacation or to buy a car or, do something of that sort within your business. Jot down your diet. There's so many fitness applications that are out there that are absolutely free. We use MyFitnessPal that has just a ton of data. It doesn't have to be exact, but again, you need to know what you're putting in and putting out. So just use that. And number two, the second secret is this, and this is for weight gain or weight loss. So if you feel scrawny and you want to have a little bit more prowess when you walk in a room, same thing. You got to eat more than you're burning off, right? So it works both ways. And the second thing is, guys, you got to move. You got to move. Our bodies were meant to move. Us sedentary right here, it's doing nothing for you. And you don't have to make it so complex. So you don't have to get a gym bag and haul the gym bag for 20 minutes to a gym and then stay there for an hour and then have to shower and gym. But that's a 2-3 hour process sometimes, right? And it's expensive. Really all you need to do is get into a habit of whether you wake up 15-20 minutes early in the morning or maybe after each meal. Go for a walk. Do 20 push-ups. Do 20 squats. Just get into a habit. Those are the two keystone habits that you absolutely need in order to achieve your health and wellness goals. Now, with that said, then you could begin to build on that, whether it be bigger biceps or a nicer butt or, I want to run a marathon in a year or, just different wellness goals. When we talk, with each other a little earlier, I said my main clientele are type A executives. Type A executives. I can't, and what I've seen is when these executives come in, they're so highly stressed. They're in this awful insanity wheel of just business, business, business. Oh, how do I balance my family? And they forget about themselves. They are one day away from a heart attack. They're one day away from a mental breakdown. They're one day away from, just leaving their significant others. And then all of a sudden, when they start feeling better about themselves and they get their keystone healthy habits back, their relationships improve, both in and out of the bedroom. I know that's something we may or may not, that's a faux pas to talk about, but it is real. And their businesses begin to flourish because they're starting to take care of themselves. And it's just a huge benefit. So, the young entrepreneurs here, the up-and-comers, take care of your health. And I know it's a preaching, but it's simple. Don't make it too complex and always keep that a main focus.
100%. And just to kind of add on all of that awesome advice that you just gave, and I agree with every word. If you try and shove something on somebody too fast and too hard, for example, somebody who hasn't had much experience with diet, and you tell them to clean out their fridge and only eat apples and chicken breast for the next month, they're going to hate dieting and they're going to give up. It's not going to last very long. You have to introduce things slowly and make slow changes so that they don't hate it, because you show me your habits and I'm going to show you how successful you're going to be. It's about what you can keep doing consistently over time and being able to introduce things in a way that makes you not hate them and actually implement them into your routine for 3 months, which is essentially how long it takes to become a habit in order to work. The other thing I wanted to touch on was exercise. Totally agree with your approach. If you're not doing anything, don't start with going to the gym and trying to, do kettlebell lifts on your first day. Start with a walk. Start light. You don't want to hate it. You don't want to start anyone doing anything too fast. So amen. And, if you're out there and you're listening and you're like, man, I already diet, I already exercise. It's not quite where I want to be. I just want to optimize. There's a whole lot you can do from there too. So talk to me a little bit about that. What about optimizing? Say my business partner, he just hired a trainer. We're trying to tailor out our diet. We're trying to lose that extra 5 pounds instead of that 50 pounds.
Plateau breaking is absolutely part of what we do, and when individuals come in, especially, that's why we hire coaches. I mean, that's why, Jay, yourself, you become a professional, because we ourselves have sought out individuals who have done it, who have been there, who have helped. But really, again, the whole point is try small little pivots, make small ones. Don't make such drastic ones. But if you're doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, that's insanity, right? So what we have to do is start making small little changes. So again, 5 pounds. Are we looking at our diet? Are we seeing what is actually going in? And really, weight loss, 5 pounds, what are we going to do? Are we going to increase output, or are we going to decrease input, right? Does that make sense? And so what we have to do is really get to the minutia of the detail, ask a pro, kind of see what's up. But maybe one day, instead of eating 1,200 calories, we reduce it to 1,100 for 7 days. Just those small little differences, and track it. If you're doing only 5 pounds, you got to really get to the crux of the detail in order to make those small little changes that you need to move there. Now, also too, if you're weightlifting or if you're doing something like that, do check with a professional first, but you need to increase the torque by which that you're doing. So you need to increase weight if you're wanting to build some muscle. So, it works a little bit of both ways, but I would suggest, seeking out a little bit more of advice if it's really that you're into that area. But the basics are the foundations. Make sure that you're tracking and make sure that you're burning. Those are the big deals.
Absolutely. And I just have to touch on this because of, obviously, we're in the middle of the COVID pandemic. Gyms are now reclosed in a lot of places, and people are like, where the hell can I get a good workout in? A lot of people can't go to gyms anymore. They're scared to. They can't go to their fitness classes. And obviously, you're an expert in this because you do home training. So what is kind of a good route to take for those people who maybe don't have a great outlet to exercise?
There's 2 types of people, one that like group fitness and then ones that don't, right? So, but I would suggest maybe trying. There's the smart entities out there, and I'll be, I know this sounds very prideful, but we've made a lot of good steps here at Evolve. And we transition virtually because, like I said, our mission is to inspire individual with experiences, right? So we're not just a gym of equipment. And I hate to say this, but you can get a great workout without any dumbbells or bench presses or any kind of weights whatsoever. Body weight can be fantastic. If you find a good inspirational instructor that provides on Zoom, and I'll tell you, YouTube, Zoom right now is big, but you gotta make that decision. See, I think a lot of individuals are using the COVID as an excuse. And I'm going to be very blunt, and I'm going to be a trainer now. They're using it as an excuse to kind of give up, saying, well, it's just, whatever. Hell no. Once again, like we started, we can't control this whatsoever. And we should allow the experts to do what they're doing, whether our gym closes or not. But we have to make a decision to reach out and to continue. If you look on YouTube, there are some awesome instructors out there. Our YouTube page, evolvestrong.com, Evolve Strong, just go on there. We have 1,000 videos from about 28 professional athletes, doctors of physical therapy, all of those guys. Just get on a regimen, make time for it. You don't have to do the full hour-long video. Take 15 minutes, again, right in the morning or 15 minutes at night. That's a half hour a day. You do that 6 days a week, you're halfway there. But you got to make that decision. So, I hate to say this, Jay, excuses are excuses. There's a ton of resources. We've been able to do Zoom, and they're very fun. They're actually pretty interactive if you get a great instructor. Again, is that a little too hard for your audience?
No, not at all. And I totally agree with you. I don't do the online training. I like to go work out outside. For me, it's accountability. And for a lot of the people that I talk to, I think paying for a class in advance or paying a trainer, even for me, like I have a trainer, and I don't pay them to teach me how to work out. I pay them to hold me accountable to stuff, to hold me accountable to increasing, the workouts that I'm doing, to show up to work out, to let them know what I ate and what I'm eating. I know what to eat. They don't have to teach me. It's accountability for me. And so when I tell people to get a trainer, like it's so easy to get an online trainer and it's affordable. And the big value is the accountability. And by paying for someone, like paying for a workout class in advance for me is the same thing. If I pay for it, I'm going to show up. If I pay for a trainer, I'm going to do the work. If you're listening, your brain doesn't work quite the same way, but figure out what makes you tick and figure out how to get yourself eating right and working out. And if that strategy works for you, use it. I mean, it works for a lot of people that I know, so it's worth a shot.
Yeah. Even I, as a fitness professional, it's even tough for me to get up every morning and to do my own workouts. It truly is. This is not easy. But if it were easy, everybody would be doing it, right?
Yeah.
If it were easy, everybody would be starting their own businesses. If it were easy, we'd all be successful and millionaires, right? It's not. But you got to make that decision. And as a trainer, I tell everybody that walks through my doors, we do virtual, whoever, works out, we don't offer any magic here whatsoever. There's no magic pills. There's no magic path. It's a process. We offer 3 things, and this is within our business. And we, again, keeping it simple, we offer our knowledge, a kick-ass workout, and accountability. Those are the 3 things that we do as a good trainer. If another trainer or somebody else tries to offer you anything else, I'd really question them, right? But those are the real 3 things that we do here at Evolve. And I think, if you're looking for those professionals, that's what you need to look for.
Couldn't agree more with you. And kind of the last question that I like to talk about, because this is the Mentors Collective, and you're a mentor. You're going to be probably one of my fitness mentors going forward. But who is your mentor for fitness? That could be in person. That could be online. Is there anybody that you suggest that the listeners follow to get advice that you respect on this topic? Obviously, you're one of them. They should all follow you. They should all follow Evolve. I'm going to tag all of that in the caption. But who do you respect?
I appreciate that, Jay. There's 2 people in the fitness realm themselves. Arnold Schwarzenegger is phenomenal. He came from absolutely nothing, and he worked his butt off, and he broke a lot of the rules and all that stuff because he was a leader in this realm. And I look toward him from the fitness world. Now, on the business side, who also speaks very highly of fitness and wellness and well-being is Darren Hardy. He's actually one of my mentors. I've taken, and same productivity, all of his stuff. And wellness is a keystone habit. It's just, he said, you're not going to be successful unless this vessel is successful. You're not going to be able to go anywhere unless right here is clear and ready to do the battles, because it is a battle every single day. And if your vessel is not ready, you're not going to be able to go to war. And so, those 2 individuals are really my mentors. And I'm going to step back just one more time. Even I, as a fitness professional, I have to have that accountability, but I also have to have deadlines as well. So, I compete on the OCB ring, and I became an OCB pro last year in November. And I was supposed to have competed November 21st, but unfortunately it's in Rhode Island, and we have 14-day quarantine upon arrival and 14-day back. So we, even as professionals right now, are up and down and all around, but we're in this together. And I'm not giving up, and nobody should be giving up. And so, again, I wish everybody the best out there, but get your shit together and just keep moving.
100%. The last thing is, I know you have a very exciting fitness show coming up called The Rise of the Phoenix that I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes talking about because it sounds super interesting. It'll be a virtual, you're going to have to tell us how it works again because it sounds super exciting. What is The Rise of the Phoenix and where can they tune in?
Sure. Rise of the Phoenix is, it depends on where our beginning date and our end date with the show. This year's show is going to be April 30th. Now, this is a true blue sanctioned fitness show. But what we do in the traditional world of fitness shows like OCB and all the rest, you are yourself. You have to hire your own trainers, your own posing coaches, all of that stuff. And you have to do it on your own, right? All the way up until the day of the show. But what we do, January 16th is our kickoff. And we start promoting now. And there's going to be an informational session November 14th, up and coming very shortly, and some more in December and January. If you follow our Facebook page or our webpage, you'll see a lot of that, evolvestrong.com on Facebook. But we, what we do is we take each and every individual, no matter where you're at. You could be 80 years old, 400 pounds, or you could be an aspiring fitness model, just needing that little extra push. Because we have a most improved division, which is my, that's what I love, is to see individuals, blossom. But we take you in this 12 to 14 week challenge. And again, those sacred principles, and we hold you accountable, is you got to log your diet, got to get your heart rate up 4 hours a week. But again, my job, and I have a vested interest, I have to get you prepared for the show. So you are my model. You are my product at the end. So I and the rest of my team here are incentivized to make sure that you lose the weight, that you tone up, that you achieve whatever goal that you're accomplishing. Because at the end, Rise of the Phoenix has now become one of the biggest, well, it is the biggest fitness show. We have about, last year we had about, not this year because it was COVID, the year prior, we had 1,500 people in the audience. We had table rounds to black tie affair. We had Cirque du Soleil off of the ceilings. It was a really cool, big extravaganza. This year we made a documentary because we couldn't do anything. So it'll either be a movie or a document or a big show, or maybe a little bit of both, okay? But what we do is we take each and every individual through this process so that at the end, they are show ready. And what's cool, because we've become pretty good at this virtual thing. We will have competitors starting in Mexico, in Seattle, in different locations, and we're going to have Zoom during the posing clinics, the workouts. Our fitness application, our world-class fitness application, sends you workouts every day, accountability. You have to do your own weights and measurements, and then hopefully, what we'll do is we'll fly you guys in, or you'll fly in for the actual competition itself, or we'll actually have Zoom capabilities with the judges that are presented. So, it's evolving, no pun intended, but that is Rise of the Phoenix, and it's for everybody. It's for anybody and everybody that's out there. And I'll tell you, Jay, nothing scares you skinnier than having to be judged in your bikini in front of 1,500 people, and worldwide now since we're on virtual.
I was just going to say that. Talk about motivation, knowing that you're going to be in front of an audience of 1,500 plus in my little Speedo. I'm gonna get ripped up real quick.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be tuned into this show and following all of the updates for Rise of the Phoenix. But for those of the people listening who want to tune in, where's the best place to connect and follow the updates and connect with you?
The most dynamic area, because it's constantly updated with our clients and stuff, is our Facebook, facebook.com/evolvestrong, EVOLVSTRONG.com. If not, we actually have the YouTube. You can see the YouTube channel, which has thousands of videos. Evolvestrong.com, just our basic website. We're all out there. LinkedIn, we're everywhere. So Instagram, just look up evolvestrong.com, one word, and you'll find us.
All right. And anyone listening, you won't have to look too far. Just click on the caption and I will link all of the assets in there. So you can use all those YouTube videos, training videos, get in touch and follow along. So Curt.
Yeah, and to your audience, I open up. I'm only a click and message away. My team and I always monitor that stuff, and we're always readily accessible to you guys. So free advice is always free advice. We're here to inspire people. Our videos on Facebook are all free. So we're providing community service. That's what's keeping us alive at the moment, because we're giving back so much. And it's our loyalty of our current clientele is phenomenal. So reach out.
I love it. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for everything that you do. I hope that this show inspired some of you to go get your health under control. Don't wait till New Year's. I know it's coming up, but don't be like January 1st is the day. Now, start today. Start today. Reach out to me. Reach out to Curt for some help. And if you did find this episode valuable in any way, you're going to make those changes. Drop a comment, drop a like. Make sure to leave a 5-star review and subscribe. And be sure to hit Curt on all of his social channels. Go annoy him. Thank you so much, Curt, for joining me. And thank you for everyone who listened to this episode of the Mentors Collective.
Thank you, guys.